introduce the players into Ken Rosewell Arena for this United Cup men's singles match. Please welcome from Team Argentina, Tomas, Martin, Etcheverry. And from Team Great Britain, Billy Harris.
Billy Harris walking out with Captain Alex Ward, who'll be picking up some of the slack with Jack Draper when he hopefully comes down to Australia at some stage. James Trotman, of course, the main coach with Jack, who was supposed to be here at the United Cup, but unfortunately with that hip injury that seems to be healing pretty nicely. So signs are good that Jack will be making an appearance at Melbourne. Alex Ward will be on his bag alongside James Trotman there. And Billy Harris was one of the great stories over the last 12 months. We'll get into that a little bit more in terms of Billy's journey up into the higher echelons of the tour, but he is a man that has had to be patient for the big time. Took his opportunity on the grass courts in the UK.
Thomas, we have Lindsay with us for coin toss. So, gentlemen, at the end of a coin toss, please stay with Lindsay facing Peter for a toss, and after only you two for a photo, all right? Usual conditions. Those ladies sitting there, Billy, ladies sitting there, she's not there, are bringing towels in the basket, all right? Thomas, you know the ladies there are bringing the towels. Serve clocks at the back and at the side. TV changeover, so please stay seated till announced time. And I think that's about it. Crowd movement, they can freely move, all right? If you need anything, something's wrong, let me know. I see you want to ask Thomas if he wants John Newcomb or AO. Go for it. Let it bounce, let it bounce. Ah, that's good as well. Photo, please, guys.
These two don't need introducing to each other because they've played once before in London on the grass courts there, with Billy picking up a nice wing. He's now 29 years of age. That's a nice little moment, as always, for the mascots. I'm alongside Jim Courier for this one. Billy is a picture of perseverance, isn't he, Jim?
Really is. When you look at someone who's nearing 30 years old and is on the cusp of reaching the top 100 for the first time in his career, he's someone to admire. It's not been an easy journey for him, no question about it, because there's not a lot of glamour when you're just scraping by in the futures and the challengers, but he is on Ken Rosewell Arena representing Great Britain, and he gets a great opportunity here, as you just said, to play against someone at this level that he has a 1-0 head-to-head against in Tomas Martin Etcheverry. So that must feel good for him on so many levels, and in many ways this is a culmination of a dream, I would imagine, for him to get a chance to play for the Union Jack.
Yeah, he's come a long way since he was in his Ford Transit van traveling around Europe in the last sort of 12 months. In fact, Billy didn't play a challenger until 2022. Incredible effort. Didn't make his first final of a challenger until 2023. It's been a different journey for Tomas Martin Etcheverry. He's at that kind of cusp, Jim, in his career where he's going to have to figure out a way to make the next leap. He has been inside the world's top 30. Yeah,
he's been sort of toggling there inside the top 50, but not quite inside the top 25. So for him, that is the next step. How do you get there? And it can start with matches like this. He was throttled pretty hard in his opening encounter against Alex de Minaur when they played a few nights back. So he'll be searching for some confidence here in this match. But these matches, it's not just about the pride. Of course, that's a big part of it, playing for your country, trying to get a win for Argentina. It's also the ranking points and the rise up the rankings that can follow that.
interesting to see how he kind of handles this situation out here. I feel like when you've done the hard yards, it's almost easier to handle these situations. You feel fully deserving of the fact that you are in this situation. Horatio, are you on cans? Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, we're good. Listen, why did you come out of retirement for coaching? You were away from tennis for 10 years in terms of professional coaching. What got you back on tour?
I mean, my kids are grown up already, and it's time to come back to what I love, that is being here in the tour.
Horacio, Jim Courier here, your old buddy. It's great to see you down there with Team Argentina, captain in the team. How about this match? A little bit of a challenging opening match for Tomas Martin against de Minaur. What have you told him to get him fired up for this one?
The first thing is that what I felt very comfortable is 2 days ago he had lost to Alex, and then he said, I want to take the mixed doubles. I want to take the responsibility of the match, and he did it, and he did it great. And that is a big step. And now there's another big step. We're 0-1. He's playing a guy that he already lost at Queens, but he feels like he's going to give this point to Argentina. So I'm very confident. He has the tools. He did a great preseason, so we're ready for this match.
Horatio, what have you been working on specifically for Tomas to make that next step? Of course, he's been inside the world's top 30. What's he got to do to get inside 20 to 15?
I think his best weapon is his serve, and we have to keep working on the second ball. He has to make his service game a little easier, because he's a fighter like every South American. Jim knows about it. We like to run and fight. But if you want to make it in the top, you need to make it a little bit easier, so he gets to the end of the line with more power. So that's the one thing that we're really working on. Second ball, how to take the net, and the next step is going to be he needs to work a little bit on the defense too. Even if it's an Argentinian, he needs to get a little bit better passing shots, because like the other day against de Minaur, he took the net so many times and we only passed him once. So we need to work a little bit on that too.
All right, we're going to leave you to it. Your player's next to you. Good luck.
Thank you, amigo. Ciao, ciao.
Jim, you played him 3 times, didn't you?
Yeah, great character,
Yep.
left-handed tennis player, quality singles and doubles player. He clipped me in Hamburg, Germany on the clay one year when it was about...
I didn't want to bring that up.
It was about 6 or 5 degrees centigrade that day.
I love you got an excuse for it.
Oh no, it was cold. It was snowing during the cold weekend, that one. Yeah, but no, he was always good. And he's a great personality with a ton of institutional knowledge that he's now imparting on his players. So we won't be able to understand much of it, but we do have Andrea Petkovic with us. So she's a linguist.
She is.
So
She's going to save us.
looking forward to hearing her thoughts and maybe some translation as she's down courtside and we get underway here. Andrea, are you mic'd up? Are you ready to go? How are you doing down there?
I'm mic'd up. I'm ready to go. Everyone's ready to go. And I know the cold of Hamburg gym far too well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Well, we're nice and toasty inside this wonderful tennis facility, and it's going to be Team GB and Billy Harris to get things underway.
Play.
Couple of fun facts about the Isle of Man. It's got the longest continuous parliament of any country in the world. So for Many people that thought the Bee Gees came from Australia, they actually came from the Isle of Man. That's where they were born before moving to Australia later in life. How good is that?
It's one way to settle in to a match. Just a nice straight through the middle rally. Get your heart pumping and get your rhythm going.
Menos físico va a tener para sacar, menos físico va a tener para hacerte daño.
98 shots there. That's about the extent of my Spanish. It's such a different matchup for Etcheverry compared to playing against Tenor, who's a much smaller individual than Billy Harris, but so much more, so much quickness at his disposal and much more of a threat to get to the net at any moment. Etcheverry is going to have a lot more time on the ball in these baseline exchanges than he would have had the other night when the Aussie overwhelmed him.
Be careful that he doesn't try and press too early in the rallies. You saw that he's quite capable of extending the rallies, Billy Harris.
Vamos ahora, con coraje. Si te queda mirar la red, un pie arriba y la cajas. Vamos.
Sense of urgency from Team Argentina to get off to a quick start.
Let's first. Yes.
Yeah, interesting piece of coaching here from the Argentinian box. Horacio wants Tomas Martin to stay in the cross-court rallies, have a little height over the net and get really physical with Billy Harris here.
Couple of sweet serves sending to Billy Harris to game point.
Cruzadora.
And one meeting they played on grass, obviously far more difficult to have extended baseline rallies. That was a wonderful forehand on his heels from Billy Harris.
Advantage, Team Perth.
Cheech showing off her hands up there in the chair. Maria Cicak.
Doing what Andrea said, staying in the cross-court exchange, just trying to put himself under any undue stress in these rallies, waiting for an error which has come a few times in this opening game.
Vamos ahora. Ahí apuntale al centro, las devoluciones. Vamos.
Yeah, I want those returns just a little more central at the moment. No need to try and nick the lines off a first return.
Under pressure, under siege, but he doesn't succumb. He survives, and it's 1-love.
First game.
8 minutes for that opening game. Get your heart pumping and get you right into the thick of it. Truth be told, that's the kind of game, if I was Billy Harris, I kind of would have liked to have played early on.
Yes.
I either would like to hold it low and quickly put the pressure on them, or have to have a quick stress test. Andrea, how would you feel about that early in the match?
Yeah, I would feel good about that. And I think you could see him going to the towel frequently. I think he just needs to settle in here. Now he looks fully arrived and has very nice compact ground strokes, but something to keep an eye on possibly. Jim, you mentioned it, he sometimes fails to recognize the short balls. That's what Alex de Minaur did so well in the previous match, just took time away from Etcheverry with his huge swings on the ground strokes. And Harris sometimes just doesn't quite recognize the short balls, but really nice compact ground strokes, I have to say. It's beautiful to watch from the sidelines.
First ever professional final in tennis came in the middle of COVID, December 2020 in Turkey. And Natalia, he was stuck out there because he couldn't travel back to the Isle of Man where his family were. They were actually planning to come out. He'd been away for 2 months, but it ended up being a particularly good week for him, reaching the final. His bonus was a little chicken schnitzel on the spaghetti. It took another 10 months until the next final came for Billy Harris. It's been a long progress. I don't know how many of you know that he used to travel around Europe in a Ford Transit van that he had converted so that he could actually live in it. He used to park up in fast food restaurants so that he could pick off the free Wi-Fi.
I love that story. I love the grind and the grinders who make their way out. It's so inspiring. And for him to have been traveling alone in the van, had a mattress, had a stringing machine so he could save money stringing his rackets, had a little hot plate so he could cook for himself, a pickaxe for defense.
Thankfully, didn't need to use it.
Never used it, thankfully.
And it's one thing to cut your costs and manage your finances, that you can stay out there for longer than other people do. Maybe the hardest thing in that situation is to maintain your level of belief that things are going to come good.
That's right. It's not an easy life, but it's definitely not a boring life either. We'll get too far away from this match, but have you read the highly acclaimed book by Connor Nyland, The Racket?
I haven't read it, but I know of it.
You need to. It's a story from a player who played on the tour, played at Wimbledon, but spent most of his career in the minor leagues, and it's a story about the unsung heroes and the grinders on tour, and what life really is like in the trenches. I've read excerpts of it, and it's winning awards, and I'm sure it'll be a movie at some point. I'm sure Andrea's already read it because she's reading everything. She might produce the movie.
Star in it.
But anyway, we rightfully follow the stars in sport, but there's a whole nother world of people like Billy Harris that populate and bring amazing stories to life for us. What's Billy, 29? He's 29 years old, right? He's just about to turn 30, actually, later in January. That used to be the end of people's careers. Right now, it's right in the middle. So I have my fingers crossed that he can get into the top 100. He's been as high as 101. He's currently ranked 125, so he needs some good results to get there, but I'm hoping he'll do it. How old was Etcheverry when he broke into the top 100? Take a quick peek.
Did it in April of 22.
Yeah, exactly. Not too long ago. He was in his early 20s. A little more traditional. And he holds serve as well.
One game.
A couple of warning shots even in that game for Etcheverry, that this is not going to be an easy one. Of course, it was very serve dominated from Billy Harris on the grass courts at Queen's, particularly on the opening couple of days of Queen's. They are slick courts. That's just 5 points out of his first serve when he made 40 of them on that particular day and picked up 66% of his second serve points. It won't be as easy on serve today. Etcheverry will make him work. Billy, that when I watch him play, he tries to do a little too much in kind of neutral situations, and again, that's part of the learning process as you go through the different levels of tour, particularly away from a grass court where it's a lot simpler to strategize. He's got to bide his time a little better.
Man, it's an interesting thing down here. It looks almost like he's more comfortable when he has a little pace on the body. on the tennis ball. Sorry, when the tennis ball is kind of standing and he has to generate his own pace. That's where the ball is not quite going out of his racket as fast as when he has a bit of pace from his opponent.
Pretty clear from the coaching instruction and from the shot making decision making from the Argentine that he wants to make this a war of attrition. He wants to grind it out and extract unforced errors from the Brit.
Unbelievable athleticism from Etcheverry. Thought the drop shot was good enough.
15, 14.
Another long, grueling rally here, and Harris tries to break it wide open with some pace and gets caught in kind of an awkward spot, but shifts the grip, hits a really high-quality drop shot. And then the movement from the big Argentine was super impressive, and he has 2 break points as a result. Harris 2 for 2 on first serves when he's been down break point so far. One more coming here.
Yes.
3 for 3. 2 of them have been aces. And in a completely different location on that outside to the previous break point that he faced in his opening game, which he went out wide with. So impressive.
Advantage. Team Raymond.
So much patience from Harris as well, and then once he sees a little space down the line, flattens it out nicely. Engineering another escape here.
Yes.
Al centro.
Put a little warm weather training in Thailand, was back home in London and at the National Tennis Centre, and then popped over to Thailand for a couple of weeks training before heading down here to the United Cup.
Advantage, Team Great Britain. Let's
apologies, and nothing really to apologise about. He has done a fantastic job of hanging on to his opening couple of service games. A stern test for Billy Harris. Survived them both.
Very good, mate. Really good, man.
Nosotros lo que queremos es que el partido se alargue, que los rallies se alarguen, ¿ok? Ponerle presión. Y en la próxima vez que lo tengamos jugando, quiero que le des un poquitito más fuerte a la pelota. Cuando vos devuelvas, cuando sacás, controlás, ¿ok? El tipo está parado muy atrás y camina, siempre trata de cubrir un poco su derecha, pero si le haces el live por derecha le hace mucho daño. Fíjate que en algunos saques estaba tirando la pelota un poquito baja. Pegaste 2 o 3 veces en la red el primer saque. Tira un cachitín más alta.
So once again, very vocal. Andrea, did you like a vocal coach?
Llevamos 24 minutos, 3 games.
I didn't, but I had all these voices in my
Digo que
head,
le
so
tengo miedo a que el partido sea rápido, no es
I
rápido.
didn't need another one.
Estamos jugando donde vos querés. Cuanto más rallies haya, cuanto
Jim,
más luchemos,
Davis
con toda
Cup,
para vos.
things like that. Did
Vamos
you
ahora.
like somebody to talk to you a lot, or were you
Vamos,
quite
campeón,
happy being on your own, working it out?
You know, the secret sauce for the captains and the players is just to be transparent about how you like to receive information if you're the player. Some players love a lot of communication. John Isner was when I was a Davis Cup captain, loved it because he came from a college tennis environment in the U.S. where he was used to being coached in match. Other players who didn't come through that, players like Sam Querrey, were uncomfortable being talked to during play. They just wanted to do their own thing. So a captain's job, a coach's job, is to notice that and figure out how to work within the parameters that the player needs, right? You got to put the player first. You can't overwhelm them with information the way I'm overwhelming our audience with information right now. I'm going to step back and turn my mic off for a second.
To pick up a tour title, he's 3 times being bridesmaid at various events. Last year in Santiago was so close against Nicolas Jarry, just a couple of points away in the second set breaker before losing to the Chilean. And then in Houston, a very tight match with Francis Tiafoe. Didn't have any opportunities though, lost 6 and 6. But against the second best Pecci that's ever played tennis, Pecci Pericard. He did have a championship.
Wait, hold on 1 second. Who's the first?
Victor. Just in case you thought, you thought I was going down a bad rabbit hole.
I had that in my back pocket, so I was just checking.
The final set breaker against the Frenchman, 9-7 in the top match in Lyon. Perfect form and function.
Vamos, Vamos, apoyate el índice. Vamos ahora.
Fascinating to watch. Etcheverry's best ever win was against Choric at Roland Garros back in 23 on the clay courts. He's not been a player inside the world's top 15. I think he's 0-18, if my maths is correct. His best win on a hard court against somebody is Sebi Korda in Basel back in October of 23.
Vamos. Que le cueste cada bola. Dale.
And Jim just mentioned the war of attrition that Tomas Martin Etcheverry is in for, and I just feel like, especially during the longer rallies, it's Harris who's controlling the pace, the rhythm, who's doing a bit more. So he's really very impressive in those baseline rallies here.
Two extremely difficult service games for Billy Harris, and one very comfortable one. 5 games gone in this opening set. Team GB lead 3-2.
3 games to 2.
Good stuff, really good. Quite fluffy, like something good. Yeah.
This is the best job shot, but it's always good to keep introducing it. Just maybe keeps Etcheverry a little tighter to the baseline, and then the faster shot through the court, maybe just catching the Argentinian out.
Están funcionando, los saques cuerpo también están funcionando. Lo mueves para este lado, lo mueves para este lado, cuando lo sentís, pum, le sacas uno para allá. ¿Sí? En el revés. ¿Estás sintiendo que no le está haciendo daño? ¿El revés cruzado? Bien. Acordate que en este game ganamos el game de saque y el próximo game es el game más lento de saque de él. Entonces, ahí sí toma la de la derecha y forzalo vos un poquito más. ¿Ok? Y si querés, es el momento ahora de que juegue de derecha. Si te pones 3 iguales, el primer punto importante que tengas, que juegue de derecha. Dale.
It's Etcheverry and the Argentinian support group just behind where he's sitting there and making the most noise. GB trying to get into it. Billy Harris, after his exploits at Queens, where he made the quarters semis at Eastbourne, lost to Jaime Munar in the first round of Wimby. Went over to play Newport, made it through qualies, beat Gabriel Diallo, the tall Canadian, in the opening round there before losing to Mackie McDonald. Then picked up a couple of wins in qualies to qualify for Atlanta. And then things went a little bit quieter. Did get 2 wins in the qualies at the US Open before losing in the last round, but then it was just the odd win here and there for Billy Harris. I wonder whether, when he looks back now, having had that breakthrough success at Queens and Eastbourne, whether maybe just hanging out on the Challenger Tour for a couple more months to get his ranking inside the top 100 may have been the better play to at least cement your place in the first major of the year, which is just around the corner here in Australia. Etcheverry may well be a little surprised at the resistance here in some of these exchanges.
For Harris, no matter what happens here with Team GB at the United Cup, he'll be on to Melbourne next week for the qualifying. And he's tried to qualify 5 times at majors, has lost in the final round a couple of times, including last year's US Open. So he needs 3 wins to make it through. It's a 128 draw. So the players that reach the round of 16 gain entry into the main draw. So that's the work ahead for him. But that's next week. Right now, he's locking horns with a player ranked inside the top 40 and certainly holding his own.
Best win ranking-wise after that little spurt on the grass courts was against Adam Walton in the qualies in Canada, who was inside the world's top 100, the Aussie, at 86 in the world. Everyone else that he did manage to pick up a win against was outside the world's top 100. Big step up today. He asked a really tough question at the backhand of Etcheverry with that approach shot.
14.
And Etcheverry unable to come up with the right answer. He himself now staring down the barrel of a break point. He's had some chances. Harris has saved those. Can the Brit take his?
Yes.
Once again, first serve comes in play when facing break point. Billy with 3 great ones on the break points he faced. Etcheverry able to stay in command in that one and kind of forced his way into the net. There was a passing shot opportunity down the line available. Billy just not able to get enough spin on it to control it. Overcooks that forehand, so here's another break. Break point chance, and within these rallies, Andrea's noticed that Billy looks comfortable and confident in the baseline exchanges, and he's out hitting Etcheverry by about 6 kilometers an hour on both the forehand and the backhand sides on average. You know, Etcheverry certainly has power at his disposal, but he's harnessing it in an effort to grind the Brit down, but not working out yet.
Yes.
And it's interesting, Andrea, because I was talking to Horacio yesterday, De La Peña, the captain and coach of Argentina and coach of Etcheverry. He said, I'm going to go watch Billy Harris play. I didn't see him when they played at Queens, but, you know, he's a big guy. He hits the ball nicely, but he's not any kind of a mover, right? Are you kind of wondering why he isn't trying to make him move more?
I think that's a great point, Jim. I think that Etcheverry is misinterpreting a little bit the war of attrition that De La Peña wants from him. He's just sort of putting the balls in, hoping for Harris to miss at one point. But I think the war of attrition that De La Peña wants of him is the high intensity, left, right, make Harris move, make him work. But he doesn't really have to work here. And Etcheverry did say that he's not feeling his backhand down the line in the change of ends earlier. So that's not making things easier on moving his opponent around.
Double net courts have gone Argentina's way. He pulls up alongside Billy Harris, 3 apiece.
3 games.
Just to know what sort of coach Horacio is, whether he's more strategic or if he's a little bit of everything. Of course, he's worked with Fernando Gonzalez back in 06. He was doing some great work with Guillermo Coria. When I watch Etcheverry's first serve, if you look at his back foot, it comes up very square onto the baseline. He gets kind of front onto the court. Yeah, on the second serve, he squares up very nicely and stays sideways onto it. I just wonder, it hurts him a little bit, I feel, particularly on the ad serve on the wide side. A couple of scares that he survived in his opening couple of service games have allowed him to settle very nicely. Suddenly running riot on serve. There'll be a little bit more of a chat between Etcheverry and De La Peña coming up here as Billy Harris at the end of the use of those particular balls leads 4-3. See Etcheverry use the slice as much, Andrea, as well. It's always interesting. I just love watching new partnerships. I want to be interested to see what De La Peña brings to him. I feel against somebody like Billy, just bringing that slice into proceedings wouldn't be a bad play.
Yeah, and especially if you're not feeling your backhand down the line and you prefer the game to be via your forehand, I think that would be a great way to get the ball into your forehand side with just a short slice down the line, get it into your preferred side and see what happens from there. I honestly think Etcheverry is a bit too passive right now, especially on the return games, but even on his service games, I think he's just letting Harris control the game.
Y lo que voy a necesitar es que ahora, cuando el partido empieza a tener los puntos importantes, que tengas coraje en pegarle a la pelota pero en la diagonal. No la quieras abrir al pedo, pero pegale, apoyate y forzalo. Porque ahora es el momento donde vos tenés que imponer tu ranking y tu tenis. ¿Ok? Cuando lo llevas al momento, ¡pum! Ahora mando yo. Y te apoyás, afirmate y dale. Mirá la red y dale. Mirá la red y dale a la diagonal. Y cuando te queda, tirale para adelante. En el revés ese, en el primer punto, devolviste bien, te quedó, tiraste para afuera. Tirale fuerte a la diagonal. Vamos ahora con el saque. Saque cuerpo, revés y toma la derecha.
Andrea, you pick up anything there?
I did actually, and he did say, it doesn't matter that you're not feeling the down the line. You can go cross court, but you have to hit the ball. That's what he just said to him. You can't just put it in, you have to hit it. So we'll see if he can make that adjustment now.
If I do like, hey, Andrea, at the end of changeover, a bit like, hey, Siri, will you just do that for us?
100%.
It's understandable in some ways from a psychological standpoint that Etcheverry is playing a restrained kind of a match. You know, he got throttled pretty hard in his opening match against de Minaur. That'll rattle your confidence. Yes, he went back out to mixed doubles and got some confidence there, but singles is singles. And he's playing against a player that not only is he supposed to beat, he has to beat for Argentina to get into a live mixed doubles match. It's got to feel good there because he went out and won that point. And for much of this match, he's been waiting for Billy Harris to lose the point. And that psychology needs to flip. He needs to go out there and take this match from him. And I think, not speaking Spanish like Andrea, that's most of the messaging that De La Peña is giving him is when you get a chance to attack, you've got to go. Boom. I speak that language. I heard him say that. Playing not to lose almost always ensures that you do lose.
15.
If you guys watch gridiron, NFL, American football, but when the teams go into that protection mode on defense, when they're trying to just limit the offense almost always scores.
Yep.
Instead of doing what they normally do. It's a little bit like that in tennis.
slice, but it was a super counter from Harris. Harris's length is impressive.
I got it.
Just not allowing Etcheverry to get up inside the baseline and dominate proceedings. Anxious moments here for Team Argentina. Break point down again. Well said.
No one's missed a first serve yet when they've been down break points, and clutch play from both sides of the net so far. Billy wants to see just how close that was to being out. So we'll get another look at it. Let's sweep the line.
Pegale vos un poquito. Pegale vos. Vamos ahora, Cuerpo revés. Vamos ahora. Bien arriba. Vamos con todo, Vamos.
Dale, viejo, dale.
Acelera un poquito más la punta. Está llevando mucho. Ya lo sé. Vamos de vuelta. Dale.
Chances keep coming for Team GB. Consistent play from Harris. Extracts an error. Can Etcheverry keep delivering first serve bombs?
Having started the match on the back foot, having to say break points, it's Billy Harris that has carved out a little opportunity here to seal the opening set. Deservedly so.
5 games to 3.
Did well to make the return. It was a quality first serve, and Etcheverry was very conservative with the next forehand. Could have done damage. Opted to get in the rally and then missed a rally ball. So this is now broken open for Harris, serving for the set.
15.
Apoyate y hace fuerza en la mano para tener control de la bola. Apoyate y hace fuerza con la mano. Apoyate y acelera la punta. Apoyate y acelera la punta. Cuanto más rápido pase la punta, más control vas a tener de la bola. Vamos ahora.
Still good.
Well, he was fighting for survival.
Saca tu esencia, vamos a pelear
Now
ahora.
there's a chance
Vamos.
for success. Psychologically, that's just a little bit of a flip in the script that he needs to deal with here at the back end of the opening set.
Decision time for Etcheverry because Harris has
movimiento ganas vos. Dale.
illustrated some nerves in the moment, understandably, as he
En
tries to
movimiento
sort the
ganas
set
vos.
out.
Apoyate y pasa la punta. Apoyate y pasa la punta.
So now do
Vamos.
you pull back and go back into grinder mode and see if Harris is generous with the errors? Not a bad thought. It's situational, right? I mean, obviously you got to make returns, but big targets and see if he can hold his nerve. Sometimes that is a tweak in strategy that's required within these matches.
I feel like he's playing into a little bit of a headwind, even though we've got a roof over here. Etcheverry playing through the middle of the court, but he is not making any progress really in a lot of these exchanges. Big step forward here, potentially though, for Team Great Britain. Set point. That could be hugely significant. What a spectacular winner.
Yes.
Esa es tu esencia, vamos. A pelear,
Had to have it. Approach shot wasn't bad. The backhand was just better. Open stance, clutch. That's sensational. What a slap shot two-hander from Billy.
Advantage, Team Great Britain.
Etcheverry's talked about not having confidence in his line backhand, no problem for Billy Harris. And what a time for it.
Cuando te apoyaste, juega por derecha, movelo. Vamos ahora. Seguilo peleando, Va.
Oh, that is spectacular. 2.0.
Yes.
Move like Andrea Petkovic in the gym this morning to get around that one. Thought he'd made a bad choice to go that way. He knew better.
Demolition. Team Great Britain.
Apoyate y trata de mandar. Apoyate y manda. Apoyate y manda.
Fuerza, le jugamos.
Y si no puede mandar, gritar por lo menos. Vamos.
Etcheverry earning his chance. Stay in this opening set. Got him with an absolutely gorgeous line drive.
Yes.
This match lifting at the end of the set. Courageous drop shot here and a laser passing shot to finish it off. And they go back to deuce as this match approaches 1 hour.
Vamos ahora, Dame la toalla.
High octane tennis, high energy in the stadium from the fans. Pulsating points. What a game.
Yes.
Took his chances, rolled the dice, coming to the net. And the dice came up exactly the way he wanted them when he hit this volley. What a sweet drop volley that was.
Vamos de vuelta, vamos de vuelta. Cuando podés, que corra por derecha.
Etcheverry unable to manage the onslaught there from Billy Harris.
Advantage team.
Harris with a stutter step after the first blasting forehand into the backhand corner. Decided not to come to the net. They did one more shot and got an easy put away forehand. And he gets a third set point now. Thought he had it. He's ready to walk to the team zone and celebrate for a moment. Back to work.
Phenomenal. Fabulous finish to the set. Everything that is beautiful about this sport. Billy Harris, one of the great stories, and a great opening set. He takes it 6-3.
6-3.
Just, but I'm so impressed by this man right here, Billy Harris. Wow, what a mentality on top of the game he has.
One thing that I think helps a player-coaching relationship jibe is to have great results early.
Yeah.
I think that's like aloe on a sunburn. It just makes everything feel better. And if you don't get them early, questions can start to arise in everybody's minds and wonder, is this the right fit? More forceful hitting already from Etcheverry than we've seen.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this is double the pace. Not even like 5 miles an hour more. This is double the pace than the entire first set.
I thought Germans didn't traffic in hyperbole.
This required some hyperbole.
Okay.
That one.
30-50.
I think on the Petco scale, that was 3 times as fast.
That was on the Autobahn. Unlimited speed. It's going to be interesting to see. It's almost an argument to say that he should just try and direct a little more traffic consistently in the forehand, try and break it down a bit. Backhand looking not just rock solid, but also producing the goods. Awkward times for Etcheverry.
40-15.
Look for a little more pace in his game. At the start of 2024, in the off-season in 2023, he went away from his head speed racket, the one that Yannick actually uses, the TGT 301. I know some of the players have been messing around. Saw Yannick with a blacked-out frame in Monte Carlo. Don't know if he changed specs. Alcaraz also has been seen trying different sort of versions of the Babolat racket that he's obviously using, but he went from that to a Yonex Percept 97, which is actually a pretty big shift for Etcheverry. But not only that, he went from playing with a string tension of 57, 55 to 42, 44. I mean, a drop off of over 13 pounds in his string tension.
So what does that do for your swing speed? What can you do with that setup differently?
Well, it should give you easier power. Number one, the strings are going to move a little bit more, so hopefully you're going to get a little more work on the ball on top of that. Although, if you're the former world #1 and British #1, he'll tell you that all it does, it makes the ball travel further when you drop the string tension. It doesn't actually give you more pace.
If you're swinging at the same speed, that's the thing. To control a racket with that much of a trampoline effect, you probably need to swing slow.
And Mark De La Peña just said exactly what you said. Try to work the forehand of Harris a bit more. So he heard you.
Juegues de revés, si decís que el flaco, perdés, en la primera que tenés cómoda, se la cambiás normal paralela para que te venga a tu derecha. Y ahí te quedas con él.
Horacio actually has done a lot of great work for not just Argentinian tennis. He actually resides in Chile, but he was actually one of the people that Etcheverry thanked on his way through, because he, alongside the sponsor Dubmen Plus Care, used to put on a bunch of the smaller tournaments, and it hasn't been easy in Argentina with all the financial issues that they've had to have any kind of tournament. So you know, he is not just a great coach, great player and everything else, but he's also kind of sort of been involved in the grassroots of Argentinian tennis with tournaments, so credit to him. Nice sliding doors moment that they're working together.
What's also nice for De La Pena is one of his children, Bautista, or Bauti as he calls him, is a 15-year-old player for Chile. He's already played some small-level professional tournaments, but he's here. So what an experience for dad to be able to bring son, who's an aspiring pro, to be able to experience all of this.
The most fluent emotions, is it? He gets away with it, Billy Harris, because he's tall, and you can kind of get away with a few sort of inconsistencies in your technique when you serve, because height kind of takes care of it. But that little pause there isn't ideal.
It's not fluid, is it? It looks like it's been heavily engineered, the serve. Well, nothing wrong with that outcome. The ball doesn't care how you get the strings to it, as long as you can do that.
Mostrale un lado y anda al otro. Movétele. Y en el segundo saque, atacalo. Dale.
I almost feel like it's the second serve that it's going to trouble him more on, because obviously, you know, when you're tighter, big point, can you accelerate it?
15-14.
I mean, the shot was fantastic, but the most important part about that from Etcheverry's perspective was the energy in the feet to be able to get around what he knew was going to be a cross-court backhand and get his forehand into play. Ball was just a little bit low for Harris to kind of rip that one down the line like he has been. Break points. Can't play him any better than he has.
30-14.
Just flawless point. Beautiful serve. The pickup was sensational. And this was not an easy volley either. Great job by Etcheverry to ask a question that was handled very deftly by Billy Harris. Keeps delivering first serves on break points.
Invested a lot in that particular game, and he finally gets his reward, deservedly so.
Team Argentina leads.
Saque y segunda, saque y segunda. Animate a subir. Bien peleado, ¿eh? Muy bien peleado, vamos.
Etcheverry managed to kind of weather the storm with a couple of indifferent backhands early on in that rally where he didn't really time them, and obviously break point down. Harris was just maybe a little more conservative than he should have been. Look at the center of the court being used there from Etcheverry's perspective.
Looking awesome at the net. 9 out of 11 points when he's ventured forward have been won by the Brit. Glorious technique too. It's just so simple. Just caresses that ball. Yeah. Deserves that fist pump.
Sobre su derecha. Dale, que juegue derecha. Sacarle por derecha, tomarle la red por revés en segunda.
Etcheverry looking like he won't be able to consolidate the break that he's just managed to pick up. Great opening point from Billy Harris, but a couple of indifferent backhands here from Etcheverry. Just a little late to pick up that second serve, chipping it back.
Otro igual ahí, sacás este game y el partido es tuyo, ¿eh? Vamos ahora. Este puntito, ¿eh? Vamos ahora. Bien arriba y proyecta.
Pinpoint accuracy.
Otra vez ahí. Y si te quedas, subile por revés. Vamos. Vamos a buscar el partido. Vamos con todo, ¿eh?
Nothing like a crisis to narrow the focus. 3 great points. Made that 4.
Advantage team. Argentina.
Confía en tu tiro. Vamos a buscarlo. Vamos ahora. A buscarlo, Tommy, dale.
Demolition winning team Argentina.
Trouble. And Joe,
Yes.
that was interesting. It didn't look like he was. He threw the ball up on purpose there to stop the clock, did he?
Not to me,
No.
but the Chich, as Jim Coria just termed her, is a very strict chair umpire. Everyone knows that. She's very good, but she's very strict.
I wonder whether he's been right on the borderline a couple of times already in this game in terms of his serve. That was the reason that he got the time violation. Billy Harris steals Etcheverry's dream.
Yes.
Didn't realize he had that type of foot speed when he is gobbling up the ground with every stride. He's a big fellow, but he covered a lot of turf to track this one down. And once he got there, just did his job with the stick, just put it out, caught that one beautifully. Some pretty good athletic stock. One of his brothers, a javelin thrower, the other high-level golfer. Blend that
Advantage. Team
Gone over
Argentina.
and played at the Maryland Terrapins, the university over in the US, was in the
Tomás a la red
England
por
under
revés.
21
Vamos ahora.
team for golf. His other brother, Joe, threw javelin for Great Britain at the Commonwealth Games down at the, well, I should say up at the Gold Coast here in Brisbane and also in Birmingham.
Todo el tiempo que puedas. Yo creo que tenés que ir, esa la T. Tenés que hacer puntos cortos. Vamos ahora. Dale.
Game that's taken on sizable significance now.
Subtleties matter in tennis, and Harris had a really subtle move on that last backhand. Rather than adding pace or trying to match pace, he just bunted it as softly as he could back in play, which had the benefit of giving him extra time to D up and cover the court, and that's why Etcheverry tried to do too much with the approach. And it's given him another chance to break back here. Is that good? just following through on that thought for the young players out there that might be listening. If you're in the corner, unless you're going for a winner, you really don't want to add pace to a shot. You want to buy time to get back into position. Even looping the ball allows you time to get back into play. Obviously, if an opponent's coming to the net, you can't do that. That's when you've got to go to work. If you're not going for broke, you need to be buying time. As always, this game, it's a little bit like chess. You've got to be playing 2, 3, 4 shots ahead.
Was talking about he is playing a little more chess these days. Feels as though it's going to help his strategy on the tennis court. Andrea, you play chess? You look like the sort of person who would have played chess.
I do play chess, actually, a little bit.
I wouldn't have wanted to play you at chess. That's for sure.
Did you guys see the fantastic French NBA basketballer Victor Wembanyama was playing with people in public in Washington Square Park in
I
New York
did
City
see
the
that.
other day?
Yeah.
Just rocked up and said, hey, anyone on social media, anyone want to play? Come, I'll be in Washington Square Park, which is a famous place for chess playing. A lot of hustlers down there. Wemby went down there and caused quite a stir, quite a scene for the 7-footer.
Yes.
Está cubriendo mucho el saque afuera. Saque cuerpo revés y tomar la red por revés te serviría. Vamos ahora.
See, Petco's a Brooklynite. She's where the cool kids are. I'm over by Washington Square Park in the Village, so that's old school New Yorkers are. The ones that are too cool for school, they're across the bridge in Brooklyn.
You can't sit with me, Jim.
Clearly.
Etcheverry back in check. Look to be checkmating in this game.
Empuja un poquitito más en el saque. Te estás quedando bajo en el saque.
He's moved his serve around. He has not been predictable. He's found a nice tee serve on breakpoint down. He went wide the last time. As he dials through those options, where does he go?
Speaking of options, did Billy break a string?
Yeah, that's what I was also wondering, Jim, as he went to a town. No, he didn't.
No, he just
bricked it.
He just broke the mold of what's been working for him.
Pasame la red, toma la derecha y tomale la red. Segunda bola, te quiero adentro de la cancha, ¿eh? Vamos. ¿Qué? Ahora para afuera y la segunda por
Great
derecha.
work with his
Vamos
feet
ahora.
there, just to give himself space. Look at that. Look at where he was by the time he actually connected with the ball, which gave him the angle to dissect that sideline. No way Harris could track it down. The entire Argentinian group behind where Horacio is sitting came out of their chair. Oh, it wasn't clean, but it did end up being a clean winner. A lot of investment in that game, and he finally gets the interest he was looking for. 3-love.
Team Argentina leads 3-2.
It's been a very profitable play for Etcheverry, tugging it inside in. He didn't get it all, but he did find the outside edge of the line, and the fans weren't sure. That's how close it was. Living every stroke. Look at that particular slow motion replay. It's maybe the quietest sit down we've had, but trainer out for Etcheverry at the moment. I'm not entirely sure what that is for. Just having a look over there.
I know. So he just throw up.
Doesn't sound good. Sounds like he might be feeling sick.
Yeah, you know what? He used to have a problem with this. He's actually done it before. I think at the US Open, he talked about it a lot when he was a kid, that he would get so anxious that he would actually vomit on court. Whether that is part of it, it's not particularly hot here today compared to how it was yesterday, humidity-wise.
Isn't that what happened to Jack Draper at the US Open as well?
Yeah. But he had a consistent problem. It's one of the reasons why he works with Luciano, the dietitian that many of the Argentinian tennis players work with, was to try and figure out a solution to why he was feeling this way and actually physically sort of vomiting. He is incredibly precise with his diet. I mean, as I guess most athletes are, but he in particular. And in some ways, as concerning as this is, it may not be as concerning because it's not something that he hasn't experienced in the past.
Hay pocas, no hay más,
Buena jugada ahí al final, bien, loco, dale.
Secale la espalda. Vení. Quédate quieto.
Again,
De vuelta.
difficult to know what from an umpire's point of view in for tennis does in that kind of situation. That wasn't really strictly an MTO because there was no 3 minutes stuck on the clock there. It was all a bit sort of disjointed, and we're kind of having a discussion, and we're back at where we are. She's not being as strict at the moment, Andrea.
That's true, yeah. She's showing some
got a soft side.
Yeah, what's New Year, new her, maybe, but the New Year hasn't even started yet. There is a moment for assessment and diagnosis where the physio and the doctor can take some time to see what is happening and then decide based on their assessment whether a medical timeout is needed or not. So maybe that's what happened here.
He's certainly been more energetic in this set as far as velocity on his shots, and his footwork, as you've noted, Petch, has gotten a lot more active as he tries to get into more forehands. Just raises a fist after he wins that point, so doesn't seem like all is dire.
It's actually against his good rival, Francisco Cerundolo. I was remember from last year at the US Open where he vomited on court before winning in an epic 5-7, 6-3 in the fifth. like the perfect Jenga tower, isn't he, Billy Harris? He's there's nothing out of place when you set up the game to start with, all the bricks in the right place. You won't see a better drop shot all tournament. Even Andrea Petkovic, I could see from here, was clapping that.
40-30.
Just reminiscing about the ones that you used to hit like that, Andrea?
The ones that I used to hit in my own shoe, yes.
Game team ribbon.
All right, so Mark Petchey has been noting how damaging the inside-in forehand from Etcheverry is. That's the one in the yellow third on the right of the screen, where nearly half of his forehands have landed. Some of them have come cross-court when he's been in his own forehand corner, but a lot of the important ones have been when he's run around his backhand and popped it inside in. But he hits just enough, that 33% into the backhand corner, to keep you honest. And look at the speed jump for Etcheverry in this setup, 7 clicks. It's all starting to click for him.
A good illustration of what Jen was saying earlier, though, just how well Billy Harris, for a big guy, moves around the court. He's tracked that down. Look at where he was compared to where he needed to get to. And to be fair, he got there pretty comfortably in the end. Look there.
You know, college kids in the U.S., Petch, you've had a couple of them. They've got a thing there called the boot and rally, where they may not be feeling their best and they empty their stomach and all of a sudden they're ready to go again. Might be seeing this in evidence right here.
Taking that doesn't happen on a tennis court.
No. At frat houses. One of the better backhand down the lines that the big Argentine has hit today, actually, but the big Brit's got the long arm of the law. He just stuck out a paw and hit a good volley here. Wingspan matters, and Billy Harris has it as well.
Great contest, very enjoyable between these two at the moment. Etcheverry just edges ahead, 4-1.
Yeah, stay down, and when you're hitting from the back corner, don't feel like you have to run around.
Alex Ward just giving out a little bit of information, gives us a chance to go back and take a look at the CBD, the Sydney Opera House, the Harbour Bridge, and of course all of the spectacular skyline that you can see from the water side, and you get a 360 view up there on the tower. In the dying embers of the day, you can have a little stroll along the coastline and see some beautiful sunsets. Riveting fact about the Harbour Bridge is there are 6 million rivets.
It is a riveting fact. I've walked on several of them. I've done the Harbour Bridge tour where you climb all the way up there. Oh yeah.
Worth doing? I haven't done it.
Oh yeah. It's awesome. Amazing views of the harbour from up there. Sydney is one of the spectacular cities in the world.
The days away from New Year, 1996 was the first time the fireworks were fired from the Harbour Bridge. Always a pretty special occasion. Andrea, you a big New Year's Eve fan?
Not particularly, no. I'm a big fan of being in bed at midnight. So that disqualifies me right away, I think.
I'm joining you. Well, not in bed, but before midnight.
We got a work day the next day. Kids, we got to be here. Matches start at 10:30.
Such an American outlook on life. Just a couple of weeks holiday a year, that's all you guys need.
It's good for some things, not others. This is always good, though. The United Cup, great way to start the season. Players playing for country, for teammates, and for big points and prize money as well. Gets everybody's attention. He certainly has ours here. Billy Harris, ranked outside the top 100, takes the opening set. Great Britain already one match ahead with Katie Bolter playing beautifully to lodge the first win earlier today. Etcheverry starting to light the fires on that forehand wing to try and draw Argentina back into this contest.
Yeah, the first moment in the match really that he's had a little bit of space, hasn't he, just to really expand his game, see what he can do. The one before that, there was Billy played a great service game. That was a bit of space at 3-love, but it's going to be interesting to see. Harris needs to keep his first serve percentage high here. Trouble looming.
Yeah, you know when you drive a manual car and you try to start it, but the handbrake is still on? That's how it felt in the first set for Etcheverry. Like he was trying to step on the gas pedal, but he just didn't realize the handbrake was still on. And now he found the release finally.
La primera que tenés, pum, lo forzás. Derecha cruzada, lo forzás. Segundo saque, si tenés, te tirás encima. Fuerte por el medio, la primera que tenés, lo volvés a forzar. Te quedas, tomás la red.
Yeah, and that's the kind of error that he wouldn't be making at a different stage. He was trying to, as Jim's saying, like rip it, but that was a little low. Perhaps just didn't give it the respect it deserved from where it came through to Matt. But the intention was right.
Oh, down goes Etcheverry. Harris checking that he's okay. Like his foot just got caught and he opted to go down rather than risk rolling his ankle. We'll check it out in replay, but he seems fine.
14.
Ooh, he just caught a rail. Good job to avoid danger by just getting to the ground.
Game.
Billy keeping himself in contention in this second set with that ace.
Team Argentina leads 4 games to 2.
And as he's been through the hardships of not necessarily having enough money in the bank to play this game, Billy Harris, he also had a pretty significant hip injury back in 2019. He had finished 2018, was in Thailand, actually came off a treadmill that he was running on and damaged his hip, didn't get back on tour until almost at the back end of August of the next season. And of course, just after that, we pretty much went into lockdown around the world. His split step, Billy Harris. He's a big guy. You've been saying it, Jim. It's been enjoyable to watch him kind of move around the court. He's not one of those guys that takes a big split step. He's one of those almost like in the Novak kind of fashion where he'll take a couple of small split steps in terms of height.
When he's returning serve?
Yeah, and also even in rally at times, just to keep those muscles active. His feet aren't off the ground for too long.
And what's the advantage of keeping your feet lower to the ground?
If your feet are touching the ground, you can move one way or the other. The higher the split step, the less time you're in contact with the ground, you can't go anywhere. After hard work in his last service game, that's a nice little reprieve there really for Etcheverry as he moves to within a game of taking us to a decider.
Empezó a pensar con la derecha y ahí lo atacamos. Cada vez que duda, ¡pum! Forzamos ahí. Nos queda, subimos por revés. Cuando tenés devolución de segundo saque, tirátela encima. La pelota la rebota, te queda, pum por derecha, te queda, subís por revés. ¿Sí? Si estás jugando al revés, si ves que el tipo está cómodo, sin hacer nada, te apoyás, pum, por derecha y que él juega acá. Te juega, la metés, te juega mal, pum, lo forzás. Te queda, subís por revés. Más allá de lo que sufriste, tenemos el partido donde queríamos. El flaco, estamos por ponernos iguales y el flaco le empezó a sentir mal de derecha. Queremos el partido ahí. ¿Quién tiene más físico? Vos. ¿Quién es más campeón? Vos. Ahora hay que llevarlo a los momentos críticos. Lo tenés que llevar a los momentos críticos. Y ahí le tirás el pecho. Y ahí le tirás tu experiencia. ¿Ok? Llevalo a esos momentos y cuando llegás a ese momento que juegue derecha.
It's certainly been a good match and a great atmosphere here at the Ken Rosewall Arena in Sydney. And it looks like it's going to continue. Etcheverry needs one of the next couple of games to take us to a third set. Wow, that is very special. The forehand through the middle just did all the damage.
Vamos, Tommy, eh?
Not entirely sure how quick that was, but it looked very fast. Nice little arrow at the end of it from the two-hander down the line. Hasn't been his most solid of shots. Something left over from Christmas.
Que no sea un... Uy, no, tome el control y que te pumba, no. Porque lo gasta y al principio te hace set de Any sense there, Jim, that there was a little bit of energy conservation from Etcheverry?
The drop shot, we haven't seen him deploy. Didn't really go after that return, so whether it was a mental break or a physical break, it looked like a break. But now comes the moment of truth, because Harris needs a break to stay in the set. And Etcheverry trying to match him with the 6-3 outcome.
A little pain remover of a serve as he moves ever closer to taking this second set.
Cada vez la siente menos ahí, ¿eh? Vamos.
effervescent captain of Team Argentina, even at 40 love, triple set point.
Given sunset Team Argentina.
Wanting Etcheverry to step up and seal the deal, and that's exactly what he does. Another bullet through the defences of Billy Harris, and to decider we go. Easy to step up to the line after such a long delay. That is the one area there where you feel like the service technique hurts Billy Harris, when it's tough to go from nothing to then accelerate on that second serve with the pause that he has.
Lights. First.
Service technique kind of reminds me of an archer. It's like he pulls the bow back on his take back, and then he pauses, and then he releases it and lets it fly. It's definitely different than we're used to seeing. It's a two-piece, not a one.
Ahí juega. Vamos ahora. Está muy mal. Cubre, voy.
I don't know if, like his brother, he threw a javelin, but maybe that's, if he did, maybe that's got something to do with it. Nice and tall out of the serve, looking down the court, over the net. And a vast delta of difference between the juice and the ad side at the start of this third set in terms of his first serves. Couple of beauties on the ad side.
Okay, so that's awesome from Etcheverry, but that is a byproduct of the strategy that was given to Harris by his captain to avoid attacking Etcheverry into his forehand corner, which I vehemently disagree with. I think Etcheverry has to be attacked into his forehand corner. Otherwise, he just hangs out in the backhand corner and eventually rips a forehand. I think that is the opposite strategy you should be deploying in baseline exchanges with Tomas Martin. You've got to get him running to the forehand so you expose the backhand and you can attack that.
To the backhand, and the pressure that he must be feeling to do something special because he's going there so many times contributes to the error.
Bien. Ahora, campeón.
And that's such a good point you're making, Jim. So many of these South American Spanish clay courters have a problem with that running forehand. They are really good from the center and the backhand corner with the forehand. And I think Harris's backhand down the line was hurting Etcheverry in the first set so much. If he can find that again, that's a way maybe to find the way back into this match.
Si lo ve muy allá es de buena por derecha y le entra por revés. Y si no me sacás para afuera para entrarle por derecha. Necesito que juegue por derecha.
He won a few of the longer rallies, but it would be a mistake to think that that's the way to play against Etcheverry in his current form right now compared to how he was playing in the opening set. start of the game from Billy Harris put himself in a little bit of a hole, and he could not dig himself out of it. And the tide is turning.
Bien, Tommy. Cada vez la siente menos, vamos.
So looking for solutions the entirety of this match, found them. And it's now up to Billy Harris to kind of make some adjustments. Through enough flexibility in the British man's game. That'll work. And of course it was fast, but it was also through the forehand side, as Jim's been saying.
What a return to serve, and what an opportunity. I like the idea going behind Etcheverry there. He was covering cross, so there was definitely room for that. Just overplayed it. And good positive aggression from Harris.
Starting to really feel it. He's got a better serve than perhaps people give him credit for at times, Etcheverry.
I like his first serve. What I don't like is the difference in average speed between his first serve and his second serve. It's massive, and it shouldn't be for someone his size. That's an area he really can work and improve on. He needs to add a lot more spin to his second serve so he can add more speed. The spin will give it control, but that's an area he needs to improve if he wants to go up the rankings. There's a few players that are like that have plenty good first serves. Rublev, Francis Tiafoe, just for two that come to mind, but their second serves lack speed, and that makes them vulnerable in this game. And especially when you're as tall as Tomas Martinez, he has that advantage, and he's just not using it on the second the way he does on his first.
encima
he's
de él.
used it so
Vamos ahora.
infrequently, as Andrea was saying, that backhand down the line, that suddenly it's hard to kind of find the rhythm on it when you suddenly look for it once again. It's clearly not technical with Etcheverry, is it? It's just a decision that he's made. Same with Francis.
Yeah. And Francis isn't as tall.
Cilic was another one that used to spin his second serving.
Opportunity for Harris to hit a sharper angle on that forehand, which would have done the job for him, but went central on it, and this game has become complicated. And Captain De La Peña sensing an opportunity to get a double break.
Valiente ahora, vamos.
Trying to send some energy down to his player's direction.
Ahora, Tommy,
Sledgehammer inside out forehand. Brings up break point again.
Just too much pressure, and Billy Hallis collapses, and Etcheverry has started perfectly in this final set, 3-up.
Team Argentina leads 3 games to 0.
Three-love to Etcheverry. There are many things to love about Sydney, and particularly the nature as well. As we take you over, well, don't look at it at the moment, to the snowy mountains, but they are there. The wild horses in the summer run freely. You can get the ski tube up there in the winter. The coastline over 70 k's. The Blue Mountains, of course, famous for the 3 sisters that you can see on your screen right now. Wentworth Falls, and about 140 k's of walking trails.
Tienes que sentir que vos no aflojás con el saque. No te desconcentres ni un minuto. Seguilo presionando con el saque, tomás la iniciativa y lo seguís cagando a palos. Cuando alguien está cagado, que te tiren encima es horrible.
Landmarks, as this man has made a mark on this match, and it's going to be a long way back here for Harris.
Okay. Y una cosa es que hayas perdido algunas de revés, otra cosa es que no te animes a tirarle.
It's all about giving coaching, giving advice, trying to find the right time to give the advice. You don't want to be too confrontational, but you do want to push some ideas that can germinate, especially at the start of a relationship like this for De La Peña and Etcheverry. And also making sure that his man's equipment is in tip-top shape. He is in terms of the scoreboard in this final set. They've always had the passion in this contest, but he has infused them with belief in the last 15 minutes or so. Double break to the good Etcheverry halfway through this final set.
Vamos ahora.
Really good, man. Really good.
Tomate el tiempo. Aire, slice para afuera y le tomás la red por revés. Bien arriba, empujá y seguí empujando, ¿eh? Vamos ahora. Lo mismo, ¿eh? Lo mismo. Dale. Por derecha. Apoyate y slice para afuera, dale. Y la segunda por revés y tomo la red. No lo sueltes, Tommy, ¿eh? Otra vez igual, ¿eh? Otra vez igual.
He's looking for another slice serve out wide. Here is the captain. He's had two good slice serves in a row that have won the point for his player. Serving nicely in this set, making 7 out of 10 first serves so far.
Game.
And he throws in another beautiful dart. Under orders, he delivers.
Primer pelota que jugás o el centro por derecha. Cuando la tenés, forzalo, que te sienta la fuerza de tu tiro en la derecha. Tirale tus tiros. Tu potencia, tu ranking. Vamos ahora. Ahora más que nunca, no lo sueltes.
10 years away from professional coaching for Horacio. He must have missed it. The amount of passion he's brought to this team already in the couple of contests we've been watching.
Bien, por el centro, todo perfecto. Vamos.
Living and breathing every point.
A little cute on that volley. Didn't quite get down to it, but it was a good dipping pass from Etcheverry. Yeah, got a little excited in the team zone there, kicked over a bottle of water, a little spillage. the racket of the Brit at the moment.
You know, Jimmy made the great point at the start of this final set. He got told to narrow his band of attack so quickly in this third set that, you know, he's got nowhere else to go.
It's an easy, I think it's an easy trap to fall into as a coach. You see the damage that can be done by Etcheverry's forehand, and you assume you want to stay away from it, but he does the most damage from his backhand corner. That's hitting the forehand out of the backhand corner. That's his bread and butter. There's good finesse. There you go. And tough to make drop shots for both of these players the last couple of sets, but from that advantage position, would have just definitely deal with this one.
Fuerza en la manito, ¿eh? Todas, peleáselas todas, que no le salga nada fácil, nada, nada.
So he gets on the board, does Harris, stays somewhat in touch, but lots of work to be done for him and Team GB in this one.
Really good. Watch. Yeah, well done. Yeah, good. Well done, mate. Great rally there. You're dominating your backhand there in the middle of that game. Doing well, mate. Yeah.
Nada, necesito que saques, necesito que seas valiente. En la última derecha te faltó valentía, la tenías, te faltó aceleración en la punta. ¿Sí? Apoyate y valiente, valiente, valiente. Hacerle saber quién manda acá, quién manda, quién es el mejor, quién es el que tiene más ranking, todo. El flaco, escúchame, el flaco está asustado. Cuando está asustado, lo peor que le puede pasar es que el otro púmbate, que no lo deje reaccionar. No lo deje reaccionar. Y si estás en la media, por derecha, que juegue donde no quiere. Vamos ahora, ¿eh? Bien arriba, empuja bien, sacame ese saque para afuera. Te queda, tomale la red por revés. Cada vez que lo sacás de pie, se mueve muy mal, entonces tomale la red, no te asustes. Lo sacás por derecha, te queda, subí por revés y te queda la volea fácil ahí. Vamos.
There's nothing I don't love around Horacio De La Peña's way of coaching. Tennis coaching is a lot like marriage. You've got to find someone who loves you at your worst, and you can be at your worst in tennis as a player, and you're going to find somebody like De La Peña who's still going to love you at that stage, and he's still going to be telling you that you're better than the person down the other end, and there's a way to turn this match around.
He's been giving him real tactical advice, where to serve, up in the ante with the speed. He's also been telling him, be brave. He's also just been building up his confidence and try and puff him up, blow some wind into his sails, and he has momentum now. Can he close the door? What a combo that was. Another wide serve
15.
Valiente, vamos ahora.
Just been working the serve into the Harris forehand here the last 4 or 5 points that he's had the con. Wants the second serve to the backhand here, just signaled that. He gets it. Frustration understandably bubbling to the surface for Billy Harris, Pecco.
Yeah, absolutely. I just think he feels very powerless right now on court. Everything that was working for him isn't working anymore, and he doesn't quite see the solution. Just every rally is a grind now. When the first set he was winning them.
Billy Harris could have just psychologically thrown a little wrinkle into proceedings here by trying to rip some of these second serves that, again, Jim's been talking about. They're a little bit sort of underpowered from Etcheverry, and maybe put a little more pressure on his first serve to think, well, I don't want to miss that because the guy's getting after my second serve. He's been quite consistent with his second serve returns. He's unloaded on that one.
40.
That's the point, but it's again a good example of what has happened over the last sort of set and a bit here, that Etcheverry's able to just lay off the centre of the court and wait for that ball back to him. I know he's tugged the forehand out, but Billy Harris is having to be much more central because he's not entirely sure where the ball's going to go. Produced a little bit of a reading on the Geiger counter. That went radioactive from Etcheverry. He wanted a cheap point, and he has nailed it. Make that 2 in a row.
Team Argentina.
And he's almost there.
Team Argentina wins 5 games to 1.
Acá.
inexhaustible enthusiasm down the other end of the court from his captain and now coach. Can he put the finishing touches on this comeback in this next game?
I love the first forehand. Hammered it into the forehand corner of Etcheverry, but then flailed it. Ball 2, the second forehand. But the beauty of this scoring system is you're not playing the clock. You're playing the game count. And Harris is down in the count, but he's not out. You just don't know. You got to give yourself a chance and see if Etcheverry tightens up. Starts now. He has to be absolutely perfect from here. Etcheverry 5-2.
No. Sí, pero una ya la había usado en la práctica. ¿Qué quieres hacer con esto? Bien. Vamos. Guarda el saca. Escúchame.
Etcheverry just enjoying the show down there.
I'm enjoying the show. I think for 2 sets this was a marvelous match, and now just in the 3rd set, Etcheverry pulling ahead, feeling so much more comfortable and confident, and Harris just lost a bit of clarity. I actually like in the last game that he showed up at the net a few more times. Maybe that's a way to somehow give himself the chance to turn this around, or to just signal to Team Argentina, hey, I can play at the net, that there's still a mixed doubles to come.
El primero por acá me gustaría. Si sentís 6, ace. Si no sentís 6, por acá, que le entre por acá. De acuerdo a cómo te sientas. Si sentís saque con slice, cuerpo revés. Si sentís darle a la T. Pero no por acá, porque el flaco le va a estar esperando. Está tratando de buscar el tiro salvador. No se lo des. Y cuando te quedás con él, con firmeza. Porque va a tratar de tirar. El tipo está desesperado. Va 5-2, doble break. Ahora se la va a jugar. Entonces que se la juegue con un buen tiro.
To lose any sort of focus here. Just 20 points on the line here for Etcheverry in terms of his ranking. The way that the United Cup is kind of organised with the ATP Tour. But the longer and the more they can maybe go through this competition, he could potentially pick up a few points. He's got a couple of hundred at least to get himself close to that world number 32 as a bubble for the Australian Open to be seeded. He's 39 in the world at the moment. This is not going to make any dent in that for the time being, but you just never know down the road if Argentina can progress. And they just need to beat Great Britain to progress to the quarterfinals. 2-1 will do it.
Ahora me gusta cuerpo al revés, Vamos.
Well, it's rare that he's got body.
40-love.
But he has thought his way to the finishing line. Triple match point. Well-deserved win for Tomas Etcheverry. He keeps the tie alive. He keeps their hopes of progressing through to the quarterfinals today on their own terms by winning that match. And for a couple of sets, Jim, it was a really good contest.